going to go to the warehouse and grab a kit. Today we're going to tackle something that I'm really excited about. I'm going to take one of our Knighthaven fantasy buildings and I'm going to turn it into a classic looking Mordheim townhouse. Let's get it unpacked and get started. This shows how our kits come straight out of the box. Each sheet is painted, often a different color. I'm just gonna lay them out, make sure I've got all the parts, double check some stuff. Grab that bundle and I'm gonna take it to the table for spray paint. I rely on spray paint a lot. The spray paint is designed to just be a first coat. I'm going to start by spraying all the wood parts with some khaki, and I'm really just dusting the sheets with the spray paint can. And then I'm going to coat this purple with first some texture paint. Great thing about these pre-painted kits, each sheet is a different color. Really easy to throw some spray paint on them and enhance that effect. I'm going to hit the cream inside walls with some brown and black to make it look all burnt out and scorched. And then I'm going to go back over it with some more khaki as well. I'll hit all the stone pieces just with a dusting of black. And the roof tiles, again, with some more black as well. Wait for those to dry and then we'll go back to the work desk. Assembling these kits is pretty straightforward. Sometimes when you add some additional paint though, you can get some fit issues. So just make sure you do any sanding or additional trimming that you may need. I'll start with all the walls, add the wood trim on. The neat thing about this kit is it comes with these wall inlay pieces. I gave them a coat of texture and I'm just going to go around and with my airbrush with some yellow ochre paint just shoot kind of like a highlight in the center, and it kind of gives it some shading and really helps to make these pop. They're all laid out in order on the sheet, so I'll just go through bit by bit, pop them out and then glue them in. Then I'm going to go through and attach the stone on the ground floor. Make sure you get all the little pieces as well. Some of them are quite small. Then we're going to put the roof on, the roof tiles. You could stop at this step. This kit honestly looks really cool, as is. Let's talk about our Knighthaven range for a second. This is our fully pre-painted range of MDF fantasy kits made right here in our facility in Texas. It's designed for games such as Mordheim, Frostgrave, Yavsiga, or any fantasy skirmish or fantasy RPG that you may need terrain for. Kit comes flat packed and is ready to assemble, and once they're put together are fully pre-painted and highly detailed. We really love this range and it's super versatile. We use it all the time in a lot of different games, and the kits have a ton of character and are really fun to put together. Now we're going to put the windows. I went to the warehouse and I grabbed some of our resin accessories as well. I'm going to go through and glue those. These don't come in the kit. These are extra, but you could 3D print or model some yourself. Again, it's just to add a bit of extra visual interest and kind of break up the shapes, break up any of the flatness. Also going for that classic retro Mordheim look for this one as well. Then we're going to assemble the chimney. It might look complicated, but this is actually fairly straightforward to assemble. Goes together pretty easily. Then we're going to attach that to the roof. Now it's time for some shading. I'm going to get some black primer in my airbrush. We'll go around and add some scorch marks to the edges of the walls. And then also we'll do some streaking. This is a step that I really love, as you know. Important to get into those back corners of the inside rooms and things like that. Really helps to make the whole kit pop and make it look really weathered and decrepit, which I love. Alright, now it's time for rubble. I went through and I made up a bucket with some sand, some MDF offcuts, and some rocks from the garden. We're going to go around and add some basic white glue. I tend to put it in pretty thick clumps and then just sprinkle the mix on. You may have to go around and pick out a few bits of wood and rocks and stuff just to make sure that you have some nice variation. I'm going to go around the entire base of the building. Sprinkle these on and make sure it's pretty uneven looking. You also want to make sure you get it up on the floors of the building. I also put some around the chimney as well. I had a plan that I was going to add some moss later, so I figured having some extra texture there would be a good idea. Make sure you put that out to dry, and then we're going to get some sanded grout in 3 different colors. We have a dark brown, we have a grey, and we have a cream tan color. Just go through and brush that into the dried rubble with a brush, and really you could do this with weathering pigments, but I find this is a little bit cheaper. Helps to add a really sandy, filthy, kind of ashen look to the whole kit, which I really love. Mix the cream and the grey in as well with the brown, and don't worry about whether this is going to stick yet, just we'll add some glue later. Now it's time for the moss. I'm going to use some Dirty Down moss effects. Go through and brush that in along the chimney and around some of that sand texture that you added in earlier, which should help to sell this as sort of like a mossy growth area on the roof. You could also do this with a dark brown or a rust color even if you wanted. Now I'm going to go through and add some dead leaves around the building in the rubble. Really, this is just to help sell this as like a dead, dying building. Now we need to wet everything down. This is just a spray bottle with water and a little bit of dish soap. I'm going to go through and spray the entire kit. Now you don't want to soak the kit, just want to give it a spray misting, just so some of the grout and the leaves are sort of wetted down. We're going to go through with some water and glue mix, and with a pipette drip it in and let the glue flow in around the grout and the leaves and the rubble, and this should glue everything down and make sure it holds nice and strong. I printed off some little bits of parchment and I hopped online and grabbed some Mordheim posters from some random Facebook group. I can't remember where. I cut them out. I printed these on a laser printer. If you use an inkjet printer, just the ink may run, so just be careful about that. Cut them out and glue them on randomly. I put a couple of posters on the walls. This is a pretty standard original Mordheim look. A lot of the OG terrain had a lot of these kind of details, which I really love. Bit of nostalgia for me. And then these little bits of paper, parchment, kind of just glued these randomly in the rubble. Figured that this would be a nice little detail. You could glue some ruined furniture, you could glue some skeletons, things like that. I always like to add a few little details to the buildings. Helps to kind of break up the monotony of the rubble a little bit. We'll glue the ladders in. These just came as part of the kit. You could leave these unglued as well. It's just personal preference. I'm going to give the resin details a little bit of a quick overbrush. I noticed they were looking a little flat, so I just wanted to make sure they had a little bit of pop. I'll do this little front door piece as well. And then I'll pick out the hinges and the handle in some silver. And that's it. Another kit complete. If you're a fan of Mordheim, Frostgrave, or any fantasy skirmish game, this is a perfect technique to use to amp up one of our pre-painted kits. I love the result. It's the kind of aesthetic that I really love. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment down below on what you want to see next. Until next time, thanks for watching.